Today is a very proud day, not only for us, but our family, our friends, our instructors, and our supervisors. I think it would be fair to say that for those of us in Class 65, today is a true milestone. It took a lot of mental and physical preparation for us to have the opportunity to stand here in front of you today. Since the very first day we started this academy, and the 92 days to follow, we have had to overcome many challenges. We've had to fight to stay awake through certain classes, suffer through having our faces seared with OC, and the next morning get tased. We've had to overcome practical tests and situations that our instructors have had more things to automatically fail us on than we could do right. We've had to power through PT, running, push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, and did I mention running? We've had to study weeks for tests with hundreds of objectives and memorize state law, 10 codes, and radio traffic. Really, we've been through a lot these last 5 months, but before you go thinking it's been one big, dramatic, scary experience, know this. I have never been in a situation where I've had to work this hard and live with such a diverse group of people. It has been one of the best experiences of my life. We all came here as strangers, but look at us now. We aren't just friends, we're family. I want to share with you all something a little something about each one of my brothers and sisters. Though I cannot illustrate everything we've gone through in our training, hopefully these little comments can give you insight to the newest members of law enforcement. Marisa, also known as Marissa Adams. Though many of us have had to overcome personal challenges on top of the academy, Marisa truly impressed us when dealing with everything put on her plate personally and at the academy. Even though she hates running so much she told me multiple times that she'd rather give birth, she never gives up and always pushes herself through every single run. She will make an awesome parole and probation officer. Saul, or Salisbury Bermudez. He has such a great sense of humor and attitude about everything. He brings much needed positivity and support to stressful times. Also, after getting sprayed all over the face with OC, not only fought 2 DT instructors, but also tripped and managed to do the most awesome front roll back onto his feet and continue fighting. It honestly looked like something out of a movie. I have confidence he will do well in Tonopah. Travis by the book Bolin. He set the tone the very first day. We were all too scared to speak when he stepped up and took on responsibility as class leader. Since then, it's been his MO to be one of the first to step up to any challenges. He's not only one of the very few that got a perfect score in EVOC, he's excellent at DTs, a surgeon with a shotgun, and one of our best runners. That's what I've heard anyway. I can't keep up to see for myself though. I'm very lucky I get to work beside him in Las Vegas. Ed, do what you gotta do, Boynton. Ed goes to the gym many times, twice a day, then proceeds to push himself through PT. He has surprising strength and mental endurance, and if you live in Ely, you should know that you'll have a great trooper out there keeping you safe. Rodney Gunny Cantrell. He made the mistake the very first day of showing his true colors by coming back to run with those of us who were struggling to make the time. Since then, he has been a constant driving force and helped teach us so much. I suppose he's an okay shot with perfect scores on the range. Hawthorne better watch himself because he will not hesitate to go hands-on. Nevzat Turkstud Chelik is a machine when it comes to pull-ups, push-ups, and sit-ups. Though he isn't the loudest person, he will not hesitate to control a situation by any means. During active shooter, he ran out of ammunition when the assailant was shooting right at him. So what did he do? He ran toward the shooter and went hands-on. I'm grateful I will work beside him in Las Vegas. Ted, or Bandersnatch Chakowski. His sense of humor has been a great outlet for us because no matter how stressful the situation, he always finds a way to make us laugh. After working in his group and watching him during active shooter scenarios, I realized that Ted would not hesitate to run into gunfire right next to you or even put himself in front of you. I'm grateful he will have my back in Las Vegas. Duncan Baby Dobbs Dauber. Only Dauber can go into a simulated gas station, drink imaginary coffee, be challenged by someone, defuse the situation, walk out with going hands-on, and aggravate the DT instructors all in one defensive tactics scenario. With his prior law enforcement, he has also been a great source of advice and insight that has been most helpful to all of us. He is also a great shot on the range, putting a pistol round through a small target at 50 yards. Reno is privileged to have Trooper Dauber on its highways. Karen Guns Escobar. During defensive tactics, she also managed to aggravate our instructors by improvising her own takedown method. The fact of the matter is, she took down the bad guy, and no matter what we do, Karen always gives it 100% with impressive determination. During active shooter, Karen got caught between a wall and the assailant, and was completely lit up with simulated rounds, which, by the way, hurt. She didn't hesitate or flinch, but just kept firing back and still has scars from it. Reno is also privileged to have her on its highways, more so than having Delbert. Sean Mallory Malloy. He also has a great sense of humor and a way of slipping his witty remarks into situations that call for comic relief. On the range, however, there is no more funny business. Sean managed to tactically load a shotgun, hit 3 rounds perfectly in the target, set it down, and transition to his pistol, then successfully hit 3 different targets with 3 rounds faster and more accurately than everyone else in class. I'm excited I get to work next to him in Las Vegas. Sean Morrow. The 2 things that stand out most about him are that he always puts forth his utmost effort and he always has a smile on his face. He never hesitates to ask questions and clarify instructions so that he can better himself. No matter how busy or stressful the upcoming week was for us, Sean always found time to see his family, which we learned was an extremely important attribute to a healthy career. I'm happy that I will work beside him in Las Vegas. Nick Fighting Irish O'Connor. With his military experience, Nick refreshed us with his new ideas and skill. He's good on the range, good at defensive tactics, and can eat more than anyone I know. Being the brave guy that he is, he opted to get tased not only once, but twice. We're all competitive and try to get one up on each other, but that was one thing no one else wanted to do again. I'm glad that I will be working the road with him in Las Vegas. Chris Biggin Shorten. With his military experience and master's degree, he not only has the most beautifully polished boots, but a plethora of witty comments and knowledge. He is one of the few of us that has a talent of being bilingual and excels on the firing range. He will make one excellent parole and probation officer. Andrew Scuba Speakman. Although a cliche, it's completely true. Scuba would give you the shirt off his back. He will go above and beyond for even the smallest things to help others. Even though he was obligated to be our timekeeper, he took the time to organize and email us all the information we needed every pay period, which is important, obviously. He never hesitates to help people with anything at all and usually makes it to class on time. He's also very intelligent and knows things like what oxygen concentration you take in depending on the atmospheric pressure. I still don't know what he's talking about, but it sounds cool. I'm grateful I get to work with him in Las Vegas. Jeremy T.Y. Beanie Baby Ty. Why does he have to be good at everything? Seriously. Not only does he perform well under pressure, it also seems like nothing makes him nervous. He exceeds expectations with everything and plays a mean game of solitaire. He has an exceptional memory when it comes to tests. While the rest of us study for hours on end, he doesn't have to and still makes the highest grades. His skill on the range always makes me jealous, but I sure am glad we'll be backing each other up in Las Vegas. Ashley Ash Wellman. Even though sometimes she looks confused to the instructors, we know that she has no questions when it's time to get down to business. Conveniently enough, one of the things she's best at is scenarios. That's the closest thing we have to real-life situations. From the very beginning of the academy, when no one knew each other and we were all extremely nervous, Ash impressed us when she stepped up and ran through our very first scenario perfectly. She was also the only person to complete our domestic violence scenario without error. I feel safe knowing I'll get to work with her in Las Vegas. Chris Wirtanen. No matter what challenge we were faced with, he took it on with no signs of fear or apprehension. He never complained or had anything negative to say, even when he was appointed our tech guy because he's good with computers. Sometimes he was helping out with the computer or projector and ended up being in front of the class just as much as the instructor. If I need help with my computer, I'm calling you, even though you're all the way in Battle Mountain. Adam Whitmire Whitmarsh. He's probably the most enthusiastic person here. He's always excited to do things most of us aren't, like run the hill or do more work. He did a great job being the class photographer and also went above and beyond to make the pictures available to each one of us. One of the most impressive things about him is the way he strives for perfection in everything he does. Even though he studies hard and makes awesome grades, he's still disappointed when he doesn't get 100%. He's also a great shot on the range. He'll make an excellent trooper in Las Vegas. Amber Ambones Pole. I want you to know 2 things about me. The first is that I'm pretty good at everything. And the second is that it's been an absolute honor to work with this group of people these last 5 months. It is a privilege to speak on behalf of you guys, so thank you for the opportunity. We went through a very sobering class recently with Sergeant Greb, and he said something that made perfect sense to me. What he said was that a police officer's job is extraordinarily dangerous, but the greatest job ever. He also put into perspective for us that there are 300 million people in this country and 900,000 law enforcement officers. That's one officer for every 333 people. Since its creation, the Department of Public Safety alone has lost 10 officers. Those officers gave the ultimate sacrifice, but not in vain. We will always remember our fallen brothers and sisters, learn from them, and keep them in mind every day. Whether serving on the highway patrol or in parole and probation, never forget the privileges and severity of our duty. Something that has been made very clear to us through lectures and countless push-ups is that we're all in this together. If one of us fails, we all fail. This ideology includes everyone here, our family, friends, fellow officers, supervisors, and distinguished guests. If all of our family and friends didn't offer love and support, we wouldn't have been able to get through these last 5 months like we did. If our fellow officers hadn't trained and gained experience, they wouldn't have been able to give us critical instruction and advice for the career we were beginning. If our supervisors hadn't given us tough love and pushed us past our own conceived limitations, we would never know how far we could really go. In return, everyone can rest assured that because you have not failed us, we will not fail you. Distinguished guests, know that we will put forth an utmost effort and enthusiasm into the privilege of serving the people of Nevada. Fellow officers, know that we are honored to be a part of this brother and sisterhood, and we will be right there with you no matter how extreme the situation. Family and friends, know that we will be safe, protect you, and come home to you every night.